Hey, I'm Khiry from inFlow Success Team, and today I want to go over customization in inFlow. Now, there's a lot of different ways that you can customize things in inFlow. You can use custom fields, you can customize your headers, and you can even rename some fields in inFlow. And this is really handy if you need to cater this to the way that you run your business. So let's go over a few scenarios today. Remember, there'll be a link in the bio where you can actually go to the article that goes over custom fields and rename fields as well. We'll have that link for you. First, let's start off with products. I'm going to use a scenario here where I'm going to customize something in my master ball here. Now I'm going to go to this field here called Add Custom Fields. Now just know that you have the availability to add 10 custom fields, which will translate to all of your products. And what I mean by that is once I make it here, and I'm going to just leave this as custom 1, you'll notice if I go to any of the other products in here, you'll see that same custom field on that product's page. Let's go back to the master ball. Now, if I hit manage, I can actually go back in here and edit this. And in this case, I'm going to use a text field. But if you click this window here under type, you'll actually see that you have 4 different options. A drop down, which if you have a bunch of the same scenarios that you use over and over again, it might make it easier to see that in a drop down. You also have date field. So if you need to track a date for something, you can use the little calendar that'll pop up. And then checkbox, which might be really handy if you need to just quickly just say, hey, this was completed. For this product, I'm going to use text field. And here I'm going to say polished. So in this scenario, I'm going to say, was this master ball polished? And I'm going to come in here and say yes. Now, if I go over back to the Pokeball, I can see that that field isn't filled in there yet because I have to go to the product to put its personal customization. In this case, I'm going to say that the Pokeballs are not polished. Now, this can come in really handy when I'm looking through my products list. If I hit X here and close that window, now I can either go into my filters, and let me just do a quick refresh. I now have the option of seeing polished. And if I want to see all the ones that were polished, I can just say yes. And there's my master ball. If I wanted to see the ones that weren't, I can say no. And then I can see my Pokeball. And you can see how that could be super helpful when it needs to come to filtering out some of your products. Now remember earlier I said that you can also customize lists. Now if I always wanted to see that information right on this screen as well, if I hit this little customize header button, I can also add my custom field in here under polished. Now I have polished in this list. I can even drag and drop this if it's more important to me to be a lot earlier on the list. And now I can isolate and filter through it as well. So now I can see if it says yes or no to some of the polished products that I have. And that's super handy. Let's go through a scenario in a sales order. Let's go to this sales order, from Beth May. Now say I needed a custom field in here too. And in this case, I'm going to add a couple here. And in this case, I'm going to first put a drop down. And here I'm going to say something in my field as inspected. Maybe I need my employees just to let me know if it was inspected. And I can say yes, partial, or not yet. And let's also put in a date field. I'll put time inspected, and we'll use a date field for this. Now I have these 2 custom fields, and just like the products, that will navigate to all the different other sales orders as well. So now I have this option for all of them, if I need to utilize them or not. Let's go back to our sales order, and let's say that this was inspected. And it was inspected on today's date. So now I can save that. And let's go to another one here and say this one was partially inspected. And that was done, let's say back on June 1st. So now I have those custom fields in there to make things easier. Let's go a step further. Let's go back into Manage. Let's add one more custom field. Let's utilize our checkbox. And let's say if it was done Manager Inspected. And we'll put a checkbox. This way we can differentiate between employees and then if there was another layer that was actually checked at it. Let's save that. And now we get this beautiful checkmark box. So let's go back to our first one that was inspected today and also Manager Inspected, that quickly an admin can maybe go in there and just quickly check that off, that these results were also looked at. And let's save that. And just like our products page, our sales order page, and this also works for purchase orders, can also be customized. Also remember that this is customized to each user's view. So not everyone has to actually see the same view of their sales order list or purchase order list. Even products. That'll always be unique. The only thing to keep in mind is anytime that you do use filters at the top, that will reset. So let's go and customize that. And say I'm the manager in this case, so I want all three of these to be available to me. Maybe I don't need some of this other information. Maybe I'm using one location and I don't need to know about all the locations that it's in. And maybe I don't need to know requested ship date or even the balance at this point. What's important to me is I want time inspected, if it was inspected, and if the manager inspected it. And I'll put those closer to the top for me. So now I can quickly see on these sales orders that sales order 31 was inspected on June 19th. It was inspected by an employee and I also confirmed it. I can also see that my other one that was done on June 1st was partially inspected and hasn't been inspected by me yet. So maybe I can contact my employee just to find out what's going on. And now I can do that at a really quick glance by going into the sales orders. Let's go over one really last quick thing, and that's rename fields. So say some of these details don't match to how your business works. Maybe instead of sales orders, you call them job orders. And you can definitely customize that. So first, I'm going to go into my settings under global. Here, there'll be a field called rename fields. Now, if I wanted to change the name, I can go under the sales order option and go job order. I'm also going to edit it here so that it changes on my home page. And I'm going to hit save. Now, when I filter over to sales orders, it actually says job orders. And if I go to my home page, it'll say job order. And that's a really handy way that you can customize inFlow to your liking. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.